Welcome to Third Phase UFO Report. I'm Rich Giordano reporting. I've got this is a great episode right here. We're going to go check out some footage that may or may not be from Mars. Totally legit looking. We're going to go to the ISS and check out a huge craft that just happened to pass by. We're going to go into a thunderstorm where you see a UFO and some other little lights. And then we're going to look at a boomerang UFO. I gotta tell you, I'm real proud of this episode, so strap yourselves in, buckle up, whatever it is you do, because we're going to enjoy this episode right now. Let's go.
Right now, we have some new evidence, and let me tell you, we're not going to let this go. We're going to keep it up as long as we can right here at Third Phase of Moon, because the evidence compiles upon itself. What are we looking at right now? The secret Space Force in action over 100 years ago. Here's the new footage coming in from people via Facebook and Instagram that reached out to us, said there's more footage out there due to the coelacanth video. Is this part of the coelacanth project? I'm not exactly sure, but let's just roll the videos right now because they're astonishing to look at. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, we're breaking it down, and you know what? They can't stop all of us, so we're going to keep this up. We're going to claim fair use on this, and we're not going to shut it down. So we're going to commentate on everything that happens here, and let's take a look at what's going down.
So the footage that we're looking at, and we've only had a short time to look at, is some ships that are hovering over some of the planets that we know of in our solar system, from the moon to Mars to Jupiter. And what we're looking at definitely isn't part of the space program that we're aware of. And the authentic footage is incredible to even fathom if this is real legit footage, because what we're looking at looks to be just about 100 to 150 miles above the surface of Mars, and some kind of craft, and you can see that somebody's filming within a ship and looking outside. And what we're looking at defies what the history books is telling us right now.
Wow. Okay, this is supposed to be from the surface of Mars, or looking at the surface of Mars, and then we see these craft that are apparently part of a secret space program that could be close to 100 years old. Did I hear that correctly? This looks too good to be true, but it also looks as good as it should for legitimate footage of craft over Mars. I really don't know what to say except enjoy this, because I don't know if it's real or fake. I think they were talking about some program. I can't remember what Blake said. Sela Mark or something like that. Yeah, I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find anything. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong, but as they were saying, you could see the smudges on the windows here. And look, I don't know how old this is, 20, 30 years old. Maybe that's when the footage was found again or whatever, but this comes from, they said, Facebook and Instagram. People were sending them this stuff. This is part 2 of their 2-part episode. So there was another episode they did on this. Anyway, check out the next set of images here. This is amazing.
Yeah, everything matches up here. You can tell somebody's shooting within a portal, a cabin of some sort of a spaceship. And what are they looking at? Some sort of orbiting spacecraft above Mars. It's compelling footage. Some of these portals, if you remember back in the early Apollo missions, they're no larger than maybe 6 to 8 inches. They're quite small. And to get this vantage point, I do see reflection of even dust particles upon the lens of this portal. Look at that.
Did you see that? Like, there's this thrust from underneath the craft.
We're going to have to take a closer look at that.
Like CGI to me. This, I don't know, is this more of the coelacanth footage, and what the heck is this ship? It seems that we're looking at something that is unprecedented, and again, we're not gonna take any of this anymore. We're gonna keep this video up. Let's just roll it a little bit longer here.
What I like about this is, comparatively to the footage just recently, could these be the 8,000 images that were being talked about that was on USB disk? Is this just a beginning of disclosure yet to come?
So apparently what's happening in this video, it's called the shuttle. And is this some kind of shuttle that is being shown here? You can see inside the ship itself, and it's looking out, and to see the smudges.
Yeah, it makes it all more fascinating. Here's a good close-up of it, and look at it as it rotates. We get to look at it, and it seems huge. It looks almost like a draconian ship. It's hard telling. Could there be a war of what's going on, or is this some sort of docking procedure? What are we looking at?
Here's the second set of images or video I wanted to show you. This thing looks and reminds me of a taser. You know, it looks like somebody took their taser out and threw it out over Mars. We see some incredible images here right through the portholes of whatever spacecraft this is that was being used back then. If this is real, this is amazing. And that's Saturn's rings? You could even see the propulsion and the ice crystals spraying up near the window, and that's something we do see with all the rocket thrusters around the shuttle missions and Elon Musk launches and things of that nature. If this is really Saturn we're looking at here, this is truly amazing, because I think it takes a couple of years to get to Saturn. It's really far. If this is real, see, I'm seeing the smudges on there, and I'm seeing some weird anomaly, like a vibrating or a shaking. I don't know what that was. It looked like there was some maybe engine noise, not noise, but reverberation, and the glass was vibrating, it looked like. I'm not sure that's true, if I'm seeing what I'm seeing is really what I'm seeing. But here again you can see Mars and this really cool looking taser like Buck Rogers like type of UFO. I don't know if making a ship like that would be convenient, but then again, I'm not an alien. I'm not from another planet. I don't know how gravity works or doesn't work when you're in space, but this is compelling stuff if real. Again, I hate to use the biggest two letters on the planet, if, I and F, but if this is real, it's the best thing I've ever seen as far as Mars goes, or our planetary system here in the solar system. Yeah, I still have some more to show you here. I'll let Brent and Blake take us out with the rest of this, and then we'll get into the next sighting. It's pretty cool.
Could this be a leaked video from Hollywood itself, just showing old technology of techniques?
Yeah, but I'm looking at this, and I see no deception whatsoever. You can tell whatever we're looking at seems to be what we're looking at. There's no CGI. I don't see any blurs around the edges. The consistency with the panel itself, and you can see the specks on the shield of within the craft, the moon craters, the way it moves.
Look at that. It looked like somebody was in the cockpit that pulled out, and here we go with another Saturn image, and look at the dust particles on the windshield of the spacecraft through the portal. What in the world is that? That thing's huge. And again, there goes those sprays of
ice particles coming off from the thruster from beneath the craft, maybe trying to position to dock with whatever we're looking at. Whatever it is, it seems otherworldly. Is this the smoking gun footage? I'm not exactly sure.
Let's pull up a little bit of that.
As we look at this.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited here. And again, we're not shutting this video down. We're going to keep it up as long as it's going to stay on the channel. We're not going to let it go. I want to look at those particles again. Blake, can you pull up that video of that particular thrust of whatever propulsion was coming off the craft? We've seen this in NASA. We've seen it on Elon Musk rockets that position itself before docking.
Absolutely.
And this lends to credibility here. That is really interesting.
This sequence in this video really does indicate, in my opinion, that this isn't CGI. It's pretty much impossible. If you could see the craft from within, and then
wow,
this looks exactly like what we see when Elon Musk ejects its second stage or third stage or fourth stage, and the ice particles that release off of it. It's incredible here.
Okay, now we're going to go to the boomerang sighting. This reminds me of what Buzz Aldrin saw, or one of the other astronauts, Edgar Mitchell saw. I don't know, check this out.
I want to get your thoughts. What do you think Literati Circle captured outside Sherman Oaks January 2nd, 2020? We're looking at it right now. It just seems to be some kind of light in the sky suspended. But then it turns into something else. Watch this. Literati Circle's been posting videos on his YouTube channel, and he's been seeing things over Sherman Oaks over the years, and we're going to be supplying the original link below. I advise you check his channel out, but in the meanwhile, what do you think of what we're looking at, Brent? Is this some kind of a banner in the sky or something else? A boomerang UFO, as some people might be stating.
Yeah, what I like about it is that first we just saw a pinpoint of light, almost basically resembled a drone. And then it does something that I've never seen a drone ever do. It does these circular motions that
it's almost morphs in its own way from a point of light into this morphing boomerang thing, but it stays stationary in the sky, and I'm just wondering if it's connected to the buildings or not. So we're going to try and get Literati Circle to give us some daylight photos of the exact same location so we can do a side-by-side comparison, because at the moment we're not exactly sure if this is some kind of drone technology, a banner of some sort, or something that morphed from a bright light into this very weird, strange, active object suspended in the sky over the buildings. Sherman Oaks, captured January 2nd, 2020. If anybody was in the area, saw anything suspicious, let us know right here at Third Phase of Moon. We're open 24/7. We want to get your UFO videos.
This is very similar to one of the boomerang, or I think they called it a worm sighting, that one of our astronauts, I think it was Edgar Mitchell, maybe it was Buzz Aldrin, I'm not sure, but they saw something in orbit that looked just like this. I've seen this UFO a couple of times over the last 17 years. It's got a familiar look to it, but what is it? I know drones don't act like that. I mean, I guess they could if you put lights 3/4 of on the edge and just spun it around, but that doesn't look like it. It looks like it's tilted a little bit on the side, angled maybe 30 degrees or so, then it flattens out. It's and also according to Brent and Blake, this thing started out as a point of light and then began spinning like the boomerang we see here. Yeah, I don't know. Is that an advertising beacon for a restaurant, somebody selling a house? Or I doubt that too. But yeah, I'm trying to just figure out what it is. Is it a toy? Is it some recreational toy, that glows in the dark or has lights on it and can hover? Then we're getting back into the drone technology talk again. Well, all I know is there's been UFOs that look like this in history. They've seen them in space and orbit. I know I've seen this somewhere. I think it was Alamogordo, somewhere in New Mexico. It's pretty interesting. And now I'm going to take you over to the ISS for something really huge. Check this out.
Dragon has just made its rendezvous with the ISS a few days ago, but we just managed to break the news in regards to this imagery of what is to be said, the infamous TR-3B. It's actually captured on video. And I know, Kyle, you just got to look at this recently. I want to get your thoughts. We know this is not any kind of fakery. This is something, but go ahead, Kyle.
This was one of the coolest UFO videos I've seen all year. I was blown away by this. I did hear some things that people were claiming that it could be city lights in the background. Absolutely impossible. I've been studying space footage for years. I've never seen anything like that. There definitely appears to be something behind the Dragon capsule. And as for debris that comes off of the spacecraft itself, there are a couple different springs and bolts and stuff that disengage and kind of fly off, where it creates more space debris, but nothing that looks like that. That shape, that speed, everything was so completely unusual. It actually looked like a craft. I mean, I couldn't even compare it to another satellite. That was a terrific find you guys got, and I'm super jealous.
Yeah, you're right, Kyle. Look at what we're looking at. There's structure behind this. And do you know what it resembles? People know what it resembles. What do you think, Kyle?
It slightly resembles a TR-3B or something in that fashion. I mean, I couldn't say it doesn't look like a satellite at all. It doesn't look like the ISS or any part of another space station like Mir or anything else for that matter. I mean, I have no idea what it could be. And I don't even think it was. I don't know if Earth was actually in the background of the Dragon capsule at the time. It might have been something on Earth, maybe some clouds or something. But it doesn't appear that way. I'll have to do some more investigation on it. I want to see if I can figure out what it is. But that was an excellent catch, and I can't believe it's not. It wasn't all over the place. It's so cool that you guys were able to break that story, because I mean that's a big deal for anybody. I'm surprised that it's not, that SpaceX isn't mentioning it, or NASA or anybody else. So,
well, that's right, Kyle. We actually made a tweet out to Elon Musk himself for the answers, because we want to know exactly what they captured on their cameras. But what's really weird is that it just didn't happen once. It happened twice within minutes of each other. So this phenomenon wasn't some kind of reflection or anomaly. No, there's something out there that was tracking the Dragon capsule itself. And let me tell you, Kyle, it is the SSP. It's a secret space program. You better get used to it. It's out there.
Well, you got to consider that it actually happening twice. It couldn't have really been on Earth, because the capsules were getting ready to meet up, so they wouldn't have been rotating like that. So it wouldn't have spun past the planet twice. So it couldn't have been city lights. So actually, that pretty much rules that out. So as for what else, I have absolutely no idea, but it's incredibly fascinating.
Right. Well, that's the update for today. Stay tuned for more incredible videos and coordinates from around the world. Let me tell you, it's getting quite exciting. I think it's happening. It's the end of 2018, and things are shaking up, people.
Oh, man. This is amazing. The ISS never fails to give us something amazing. Same with all the stuff that's floating around out there. We seem to find a lot of these amazingly huge objects, motherships possibly, passing underneath or the side of the ISS, and shuttle missions and all sorts of things happening out there in our orbit. This reminds me of something, though. And I'm going to show it to you in the next part here. You can definitely see it's something that is pretty big. It looks metallic. It doesn't look like this is down on Earth, but you can see what looks like wings, right? It looks like an airplane almost. Well, do you know what the Saqqara bird is? Doesn't it remind you of that? Take a look at this picture I got here. Kind of looks like it. Maybe, just maybe, the Egyptians did have off-world vehicles. Maybe they are the off-world drivers. They're the pilots. It's pretty amazing to see how similar this looks to be like the Saqqara bird. It's amazing to me. And the Saqqara bird actually flew because there was a guy who did a model of it, and it flew perfectly too. It didn't just fly and then fall to the ground. It was a glider, and it went quite a few feet, and it shocked everybody. So maybe this is the large version of the Saqqara bird. Maybe they did depict what they saw in the sky and in space. Maybe what was in space came down for a visit. And the rest is, as they say, history. Take a look at this and just imagine being out there and seeing this. You're in the International Space Station, and you look out the window and see this. Look how big it is. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's something passing by underneath from Earth. It doesn't look like it to me. It definitely looks like it's in space. It's near the ISS. It's near satellites probably. Look at this thing. Just amazing how the light perfectly hits it when it passes by. Look at this. You can see that looks just like the Saqqara bird. Well, it's very similar. Watch. Right there and right here. That looks like right there. It looks like an airplane to me. An airplane in space. Are you kidding me? Nope. That is a UFO, and it is huge. All right. You guys talk amongst yourselves because I got more stuff to show you. Check this out because I'm going to take you out of the digital sky here into an amazing video. Check it out.
We're receiving this video right now, and it's again from Maxim Trebo. What is going on? It's almost like the same phenomenon on different sides of the planet.
Se están formando, están yendo, mira, ahí se están moviendo. Cuando se cruzan mucho. Pero mira ahí como que se están subiendo. ¿Has visto? Ya se me va a acabar la pila. Tráete la otra pila. Se
Third phase.
All right, we're going frame by frame here, and there is something that we want to show you right now because there it is. Now, this definitely looks like some kind of craft within these luminescent orbs. Now, this could be something huge, because whatever it is, there seems like there's a solid object, and then when the lightning flashes away and it's gone, you see nothing there. But could this flash of lightning reveal what is actually unseen to the human eye?
Blake, this really gives good proof of what we're talking about earlier from the last video. Now we got confirmation of a little contrast and enhancement, and it's really pulling out something out of the background. Whatever this is huge.
More lightning coming in, and like I say, massive weather is a magnet for these kind of UFO activity, these events happening around the world. I do believe that there are magnets for this, for some odd reason. And again, we're going to be pulling up that still because it is so fascinating of what it reveals here. Here's another slow motion, frame by frame, and watch this very closely. Okay, it seems like the lightning bolt is possibly in front of this craft, again reflecting or highlighting these orbs. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. But then again, in more analyzation of the video, something becomes apparent that I don't even think the person that shot it knew what they shot, because what we're seeing here definitely reveals a hidden craft, some kind of interdimensional cloaked UFO. And again, it is massive in size. I want to get your guys' opinion on how large do you think it is. Brett, what's your thoughts?
It's at least the size of a football field. It's at least 100 yards, I'd imagine, Blake, and maybe we're looking at like definitely a cloaking device, something reflecting off the atmosphere, and then when you see the lightning strike, it really illuminates itself, and the cloak is basically showing itself for a fraction of a second.
Phase. Third. Phase. Third.
Thunderstorms and UFOs go hand in hand, I found out, for forever. People have photographed them, they've drawn them, they've painted them around thunderstorms forever. There must be something that they're doing in the thunderstorm. Now, I understand why they would be curious, why they would want to sit in a thunderstorm and maybe collect data on the lightning. And you would have to admit that they're probably a curious being. You know, they never been here before maybe, but when you see the lightning strike, you can actually see what looks to be a ship. Almost like a disc-shaped object just sitting there, and all we get to see are the lights. But you can see them change configuration rather quickly. I do not think this is CGI. I don't think this is a structure with lights on it. I do believe we have an anomaly here, and it's not 8 or 9 ball lightning here. You can see right there what looks to be a craft. Some sort of structure there that looks like a disc-shaped object. This is one of the most interesting UFO sightings I've ever seen. It reminds me of the Dorothy Izat photographs that are very well known, and she's still around today, but she took photos of what she saw was a triangular craft, and then there would be like an electrical charge, almost like lightning, but no clouds around it. And inside one frame of her video and the pictures, you could see the light dancing around and staying within the one frame of the video and not bleeding into the other frames. And that's almost impossible to do. It is, especially back in the 80s. This reminds me of that. This is almost as if the lights are changing when the lightning happens. Maybe they're changing their position in the dimension they're in, or something to that effect, because you can see here when the lightning flashes, the lights, those round lights, those dots, those white things, they change. And they're not always the same. And you can see in another part here, right, I think on this part, they move into position or out of position, whatever they're doing, they move rather quickly. It's very subtle, but very quick. This is unbelievable to me, one of my favorites. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I would have to imagine that these are just lights on a craft, and they're sitting in the thunderstorm, and every time the lightning goes off, it reacts. I don't know what else to tell you. It's odd. There's no object like a crane or a building or a house even. It's not Christmas lights, kids. Yeah, this is something special, and I don't think I've ever seen it again. All right, I'm going to take you out now into the most amazing news of the day. So hold on, stay buckled in. Third Phase of Moon has something really special. Go!
An estimated 125 to 150 million Americans watched the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Buckle up. Third Phase of Moon, new album, Behind the Veil, is now available worldwide with the original song like Going to the Moon.
We'll get lost on the way to the moon. Out there where there's asteroids, we'll hit you right on the way to the moon. On the way to the moon.
The American flag on the moon. It had to be understood in the context of the Cold War, as our delayed answer to the Russians sending a satellite into space first.
Are you ready for the Men in Black? They're out to get you if you're not careful.
There's really no escape no matter what you do. The Men in Black keep coming back and watching over you. You take the hills and I'll just keep this dusty road. Let's get out together while keeping our mouths closed.
Who's ready for the countdown to disclosure?
Go, but that don't mean that the curtain is closed. We've got a long way to go. This is the countdown to the show. Open your mind. Next reveal is our wildest fantasy. Watch for the signs. They're in front of our face, an open space for all to see.
Going deep into the mystery of the Majestic 12. Pulse pounding, get you dancing music.
Alright. How close do they keep the secret to the rest? But that's not to say they were alright. Alright. How long will they keep the secret to the rest?
Who's ready to go for a ride with Meta Propulsion?
Is at the forefront. Chemical injections needed, but not from this world of research is what they will call it, and never let you see any result. Yeah, we're using electromagnetic fields. There's something out there with us.
12 brand new songs available right now on all audio streaming platforms like iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and TikTok, and much, much more. Check out the link to the entire album right now. The link is in the description below. Third Phase of Moon, Behind the Veil. Get ready to take off to another dimension.
I told you something special was happening. You guys got to go check that out. That album, Third Phase of Moon, Behind the Veil. It is out now. I'm Rich Giordano from GUFON. You can see me 6 nights a week, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on YouTube. If you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. Good night, everybody.